Good Monday afternoon to you. How is everyone? It is good to see you. It is good to be seen by you. It is I, the one and only, the Dungeon Delver, coming to you live now on a lovely Saturday afternoon. And what can I say? I'm not a man or a machine. I'm just something in between. Whoa, whoa, whoa. But welcome everybody. I'm glad you're here. It is Monday afternoon. You're not seeing things. There has not been a major tectonic shift in how I do my show, but if you missed last Monday, well, we missed you too. I wish you could have been here. But if you missed last Monday and you don't know what the de rigueur is now, I believe is the French say. Death Angel Shadow, member for 19 months. Thank you, brother. Thank you very much. But if you missed the de rigueur, Mondays we're going to be streaming a little bit earlier in the evening. And the reason is twofold. First of all, at 10 o'clock, I have a first edition AD&D game that I play with friends. We play it in an online format, but it is not streamed. That particular game, being that it starts at 10 Eastern, like if I set a 9 o'clock kickoff, I've got to be done no later than 9:40, 9:35. Okay. Because get a drink of water, maybe wolf down some dinner, something like that. If I even if I do it at 8:30, that's like a hard hour full stop. So I said, look, what am I really doing on Mondays? What am I really doing on Mondays? And the answer was, nah, not much. Not much. So I brought it back. I brought it back a little old school, and we decided to go with the Monday look. And I hope that's something you guys enjoy. You think I set my clock back a few hours early? Daniel Breland over there on X, which, by the way, if you are watching us on X, please give me a shout. I do like to know about all of our folks who watches over there. I know a large percentage of our viewers like me and the mouse I got in my pocket, a large percentage of people who watch the stream do tune in from X, whether they watch it during or after. Squirrel Hermit, hello to you from me and your glasses, sir. TXG, good to see you also. North of the Rockies, Wave of Mutilation, Damien. But anyway, so yeah, I decided to just roll things back a little early on Mondays, and I like it. Zach Melvin, good to see you over there. May I call you Zach? Do you prefer Zachary? So it's not any particular thing. This is not the comic store changing its hours just before they go out of business, okay? This is not like you go on Monday and now they got new hours up and it's like they don't open till noon on Wednesday and then they're only open till 5, and Thursday is like 9 to 3. Friday is full hours, and Saturdays, oh, we've added 2 hours for our card gamers and Warhammers, and they're closed Sunday, and then, they're only open on weekends for the last couple of months that they're still around. This is not that. This is not that. This is me just taking my normal format and moving it back a little bit. We'll still get, when there's Mail Call Monday to be had, we'll still do Mail Call Monday, Miniatures Monday, as it happens. I almost got set up for Miniatures Monday, and I wish I had gotten set up for Miniatures Monday. Because had I gotten set up for Miniatures Monday, you guys would see some glorious stuff. Pardon me just a minute, will you, folks? Okay, I'm back. See, I share my studio. I know you guys probably think that this is like some awesome nerd repository where I'm I just geek out and I hang out and I, the never land. It's not. When I just walked around, I walked like 5 feet around a table and hit pause on the washing machine because I share the space with the washing machine. And it occurred to me that its spin cycle was probably going to be audible over the microphone. And I certainly didn't want that. Orbital Air, good to see you. But anyway, so Mondays, here we are. And welcome to Monday. Don't have a lot of TTRPG news to report. I do want to report something because I have had actually a few people have reached out to me about this. We were right here in my neighborhood unaffected by the EF2 tornado that touched down this morning in the early morning hours, and destroyed a single house in a neighborhood. It's mad. I won't share it with you guys. But about 3 miles in that direction, there was a neighborhood where an EF2 touched down and completely blew a house away. Now, look, I don't know. Maybe you're a Richard Feynman style skeptic. Maybe you're a devout believer. I don't know. And frankly, I don't particularly care because I like you all. But you can't tell me that there's not some providence in the universe. The owners of this home gathered just in a corner. They just gathered in a corner. And the house was wiped out by the tornado. Let me give you an idea of what an EF2 is in terms of power. A category 3 hurricane, like a mid category 3 hurricane, packs about the same wallop that an EF2 does. Here's the difference. You can see a Cat 3 coming. You have anywhere from 4 to 12 days to prepare for that. You wake up in the morning, you're making your coffee, you're thinking about what the traffic's going to be like, what the office banter is going to be. Get the kids to school. I've got to call that guy about the pool. Summer's coming. And your phone starts screeching. And moments later, there's a rumbling. The power flickers. And you have seconds to react. That's what we're talking about. That is what we're talking about. And that is all the time these people had. They dove into this corner and huddled up. The aerial view of the house is gone. The house is obliterated. You'd have dropped a J-dam on it and not done as destructive a job as this tornado did. Except for the corner where they were sitting. They're all okay. It's quite visible. A little section of roof and where the two walls meet. Look at that and tell me there's not some providence in this universe. So yeah, that's that was just literally 3 miles away. And 3 miles is nothing to a tornado, particularly one that packs that much of a punch. Fortunately, it meandered on up into areas where it was not, was not that powerful, and then just kind of dissipated. It knocked a semi-truck over, tore up a bunch of trees elsewhere, but that's all that happened. I'm good. I'm good, Orbital Air. Yeah, it's spooky. And now I used to live in Northeast Alabama. And the number of times in the summer, spring and summer, the folks would come and get my sister and I out of bed to go sit in the basement, was pretty distressing. And our basement was creepy. Our basement was supremely unsettling. We never went down in our basement for anything. We didn't even store anything in our basement. It was this vast dirt floored, unused area that we never went down and never talked about. I think Dad put some stuff occasionally on the stairs, like set some boxes on the stairs, but even he didn't go all the way into the depths of the basement. It was a duplex. Our landlords lived next to us. Their side, they did. And I think once I went down there, the son of our landlords, kept his canoe and his hunting rifles and had some trophy deer heads that were just kind of stored down there. So it was a fairly normal kind of basement, but our side, we and so when we would have we're sitting at the top of the stairs of the basement, not down in the basement properly. Believe it or not, north of the Rockies, no, we didn't. We did not have a creepy attic. There was a peaked roof space above us, and if there was an attic access, it was over in our landlord's side. But we did not, there wasn't even a hatch to go up there. I firmly believe that there was something in that house that did not like me. I after like 76 when we moved in there until 79 when we moved out, I don't think a month went by when I didn't have a very unsettling, not restful night's sleep. So yeah, spooky stuff. But anyway, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. And I hope you guys are fine too. So, got a couple of videos coming out this week. Don't know when they'll be out. Don't have specific days that they're going to drop. One, I want to address the D&D sales thing a little bit. That's just going to be me by myself because I kind of want to unpack what's going on. I know a lot of people have latched on to, 6th edition is a disaster and it's ruinous. I think some context is needed. And I'm going to take a look about it. Now, you guys know I'm not a Wizards of the Coast fan. I'm not a Hasbro fan. I'm not going to be glazing them. Okay? I'm not going to be glazing them. This is not going to be no, guys, they're fine. I'm going to dig into it a little bit because I have some thoughts. So, speaking of thoughts, this is something else that sort of was occupying my mind a little bit. And what I was thinking about was, I know, I feel like was it last summer that I did this? I feel like it was last summer. Maybe it was the summer before. I was thinking this summer that I might take a respite and basically shift. Let's see. So if you say I'm at 60 degrees, it'd be at like 120 degrees. I'd go from 60 degrees to 120 degrees. And when I say I was thinking about that, I mean in the past tense. I have measured my studio space here, the Delver's Dungeon. TXG, that's a good question. I'm going to come back to you on that because we're going to get to a little bit of Q&A. I can't make it work, guys. I cannot make it work. My editing station over there won't fit on this wall without blocking this door, which goes out into my print lab and outer garage. I'd have to walk around the house constantly. Not necessarily a bad thing, but if I'm printing late at night, it is. Or it would block my side access door, which on occasion I do need access to. It can't go on this wall because these bookcases would have to go on that wall. And why is that a bad thing? Well, my junction box is on that wall. The house's main breaker box is on that wall. So yeah, it's kind of a, I'm stuck here basically until or unless I move into a different house or something happens that I can't stream from in here. I'm stuck here. So I had to discard that, unfortunately. But anyway, the other video that I want to take a look at this week is, if I have time, I want to do a react video. Yes, you heard me, a react video. And you might start seeing more of them as the interstitial videos, not to substitute the live streams. But what am I reacting to? I'm reacting to the presentation of D&D in popular media. Maybe there's some of you guys out there, particularly when it comes to old D&D, and you're like, well, did they ever talk about this stuff? And yeah, they did. They did. So I'll be kind of trying that. There might be some stuff, some of you guys, maybe you know, you're younger than me, maybe you're a kid from the 90s or whatever, and you're loving the old school, but you don't know. They actually tried to sprinkle it in. By they, which I mean Hollywood TV and film productions, they knew it was popular. They knew it was. And they tried to sprinkle it in to kind of catch the wave, to ride something they thought was popular. So I'm going to be kind of talking about some of those things. And this will be the first video, and I hope you guys like it. I think you'll like it. I think you'll like it. So tomorrow night, though, before we talk about any reacts videos I might do, tomorrow night, right here, 9 p.m., not 6, not 6:30, 9 p.m., we will be playing first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. What do I mean by we? Me and you guys? Well, not so much. But there's a caveat. A quid pro quo, if you will. Because you see, on Tuesdays, we play Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, myself and a whole stable of fun people. And we got a new guy joining us tomorrow, and I think you guys are going to really appreciate that. We play first edition AD&D. We play it with miniatures. Sometimes we do theater of the mind. But when we get out there and we do our AD&D playing, you guys can watch it. And I know now you're thinking, you're like, oh, you mean like Critical Role? No, not like Critical Role. You guys can interact with us. If you have a question about what we're doing, a comment that merits some serious discussion, go ahead and make it. And I will do my level best to answer your question. And if I don't, someone in the audience will, because folks, I have the best, the smartest, and the best looking audience of all of the 5-night-a-week TTRPG live streams on YouTube. And I'll kill on that hill. So somebody in the audience may be able to fill you in, and if not, one of my players. One of the esteemed people, guys like Kevin. You know him, you love him. He's here for AD&D. He's here for Gamma World. Doomsword Deathmaster, Tim Imholt, Thane Kyle. And we could have more people come to the table. So I'm hyped about it. I hope you guys are hyped about it. That's just Tuesday, all right? Like, that's enough. A lot of people are like, whoa, you stream that once a week. That's, no. We're barely getting started by the time we're into the AD&D game. Wednesday. Now, I know he's been out for a little while, but that makes his return all the sweeter. I'm hoping my co-host, the Thunder from Down Under, where women blow and men chunder, we have Mr. Kyle Schuant, who joins us on Wednesday nights. Thursday night, sometimes I have guests on Thursday. Tune in this Thursday. You never know. I'll let you guys know in advance, though, if we're going to have a guest. But if not, we do more open chat like this, where I field your questions. Sometimes we'll deep dive on a TTRPG product. You got all this cool stuff around me. And then Friday, just like we do on Tuesday, but it's a different game, we play classic Gamma World. That's right. Myself, Yang Yan Zhao, Kanek One, Doomsword, and Kevin all sit down and we get rad. Specifically, more rads than you should probably absorb. So tune in. That's 5 nights a week, guys. And heaven help me, sometimes I get pulled on other people's live streams, but they'll advertise those. So that's what we've got coming up this week. And if you guys like that, and you haven't done so already, please click the subscribe button and click the bell icon for notifications. You can also support the show on Patreon or on a YouTube membership for as little as $1 over on Patreon, or $1.99 if you just want to sum it up here on YouTube. I tried to drop it down to $1. I can't. Literally the smallest membership I can make on YouTube is $1.99. So if you go to the Patreon, if you're like, I want to support the show, $2 is a little outside my price range. And I'm not making fun of you, by the way. But you do want to support, you can go over to Patreon. You can buy me a coffee. Speaking of Down Under, how much for me to eat a jar of Vegemite on cam? $5,000. $5,000 is my price to eat a jar of Vegemite on camera. Anyway, so I want to catch up with people. Let's see. Ryan Nowicki says, I've been recreating old JRPG video games in a virtual tabletop RPG by taking the original isometric map assets from the game like Icewind Dale. Players love it since they haven't played those old ones. That rocks on toast, my friend. That is genius. That is genius. I love that idea. You got to write something up on how to do that, man. I think that would be kicking rad. So TXG asked this question earlier, because we're getting to the question and answer part of the show. Are the hardbound 1E books, Dragonlance Adventures and Greyhawk Adventures, worth getting? If you like Dragonlance Adventures is probably worth your time. I think that it is all unique adventures or advice on how to link some things together, plus a lot of world building content. So if you like Dragonlance, for sure. I'm not an aficionado of Dragonlance. I have a copy, but I'm a bad judge of it. But if Dragonlance is your jam, absolutely check it out. Greyhawk Adventures, yes, for the Jim Ward and the Rob Kuntz content. To me, if Jim and Rob wrote the Greyhawk content, then it's canonical Greyhawk, because they were at Gary's table. They know what time it is. So yes, for their content alone, it's worth getting. And I hope that answered your questions. Rusty Hulk says, try some New Zealand Marmite instead. Like I said, I will I will try. And north of the Rockies, if I did eat it on camera, it would be like on buttered toast. I would not like just sit here and eat it with a spoon any more than I would sit here and eat a jar of strawberry jelly with a spoon. Although if you put a gun to my head and said pick one, I would take the strawberry jelly every moment of every day. Well, no, it's not. It's not, Michael. This is what Mondays are. Mondays are an early live stream day. And as the true oldsters from this live stream can tell you, I used to stream mid-afternoon. Getting people on the show was a bear. So I'd be like, I'm streaming at this time. When I realized it was a lot easier to do it in the evening and I would kind of get a bigger audience, I just gradually moved it forward. Now, most nights, I would say Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, we don't even start till 9. Wednesdays can vary. It depends on Kyle's availability. If I know Kyle's not going to be here, I'll start it a little later. I would eat a jar of apple butter too north of the Rockies. I would regret it. I would regret it. Mesquite bean jam is the next level. I have had some black bean salsa that's good, but I guess you're talking about something else. You know what I think is an underrated jelly is apple jelly, not apple butter, apple jelly. I like apple jelly. I do. It's got a very mild taste, but when it hits, you're like, there it is. There it is. I've heard that about jalapeno jelly north of the Rockies. So anyway, what else is happening? Not much going on in TTRPG news now that I've said that. Watch people be like, you didn't know about this? But when I talk about things that echo back into the old school, it's fairly quiet. But, guys, we are drawing ever closer to the GUOGC, the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention. What is it, you might be asking? Well, let me tell you, I might say. The Great Underground Online Gaming Convention, when the summer and the spring comes up, a man's thoughts turn to rolling out and playing some TTRPGs on the road. Go to Lake Geneva, maybe all the way up to Indianapolis for Gen Con. Maybe you're hitting Origins. Maybe you're going to Dragon Con and sequestering a table there. But you know what they all have in common? Cheek to jowl people. They have money, cost to travel, cost to stay, cost to eat, cost to play, cost to play, cost to play, cost to play. The GUOGC, the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention, travel cost is $0. Admission fee, however, is, well, that's $0. There are no diamond level, pools that you have to be in and hope that you get picked to be in a game. We are all on Discord. Any snacks, you got to buy them yourself. But I try and give you the entire experience of playing a convention in an online format over on Discord. We're going to have an artist alley. We've got merch. We've got panels. Let me tell you about our panels. Matt Finch, Alyssa Hazel, our own Jack Photon, Tracy Lesh, Richard Witters, Sky Hernstrom, and I'm seeing if Jeff Talanian would like to pop in for a panel. We have got panels galore. And we have got great games. Doom Sword's running games. We've got our own Gonzalo Lira's Bar Tab is running games. I'm going to be running games. The Wheeling Dragon is going to be running games. James F. Keck is going to be running games. And you can sign up It's as easy as just going over to the Discord. Do you want to run a game? Let me know, or let Doomsword Deathmaster know. We can make you a game master just like that. And creating a game, he has got a system. He has got a bot plugin for our Discord channel. It is so freaking easy to use. And guys, again, this con, unless you want to buy a t-shirt, a mug, a koozie, something like that with GUOC merch on it, it costs you nothing. Costs you nothing. So please, by all means, check us out. Do you guys need the link? Should I share the link with you guys? Let me know in the comments if you need that link. Let's see. You got Death Angels. You gotta dig around on the shelf. It's at Publix. I can tell you that much. The one thing I'll tell you about apple jelly, though, is that it is not. It's not good with peanut butter. Like any port in a storm. But by and large, I don't like it with peanut butter. Which is strange because peanut butter on an apple is out of this world. So I see some folks want that Discord link. Let me pop open the Discord. And invite people. Now, let me tell you something. We tried our darndest to permanentize this link. It did not stay permanentized. It expired after a couple of weeks. Never expire, never not expires. So, if you are watching this in the future and you try that link and it doesn't work, hit me up on social media. I'll get you a working link. No, I like it on other apples and Granny Smith. I don't like it on Golden Delicious, but I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like Golden Delicious apples anyway. They're too mushy. They're too mushy and they're too mellow. Like I like my apple to have some tartness to it. I want to feel like I am experiencing the apple. Yeah, it must be Death Angels. Maybe I don't. I need that premium ultra thing that they're always spamming me with. Honeycrisp are good north of the Rockies. Honeycrisp are a good apple. I think you get the right red apple for me and it's good. Like a Roman is a good one. A red delicious, a proper red delicious can be really good. But anyway, so yeah, check out the Discord there. You like the Golden Delicious. See, man, like I said, flavor's just too mellow. I want something that's got a lot of good tartness to it. Almost a citrusy like flavor to it. Yeah, a good peach is a thing to be is a great thing. Good Will Hunting was a pretty good movie. I've only seen it in bits and pieces. Can you believe it? I liked what I saw. I mean, Robin Williams, man, right? But anyway, yes, check out the guac there. Acid reflow. My dad would eat raw potatoes and turnips. He was not a big fruit guy. Yikes! Yikes! Yeah, Matt Damon and Robin Williams. I want to say that Ben Affleck popped up in that, but I just could be completely mistaken. And not in a big way if he did. No, that's okay. Um, but anyway, so what else is happening? The show's anniversary is this weekend. And I got to be completely, well, actually, technically, it's next Tuesday, I think. Yeah, the show's anniversary is next Tuesday. And guys, I keep thinking about this. I keep kind of leaning forward and then backing away and then leaning forward and then backing away. And it is this. Guys, do I do a 24-hour live stream to celebrate the 5th anniversary of the show? And here's why I ask about that. The 10th anniversary of the show, I will be 60. I don't know that I would survive 24 hours awake at 60. It might just wear a hole in my amygdala and kickstart the Alzheimer's right on camera. Rob Turner, good to see you. Vinny Finnegan, greetings. So I don't know if I should do that. I feel like I should do something. I should somehow, I mean, maybe a 12-hour stream that Sunday, like noon to midnight. Hey, happy birthday and congratulations, Death Angels. Happy birthday to you, my friend. 52. It ain't the years, it's the miles. That's wonderful. Mrs. the Dungeon Delver and mine's anniversary is this Thursday. Lovely time of the year to get married, isn't it? It will be our 26th. It's got about 4 years on you in the overall. 3.5, call it. Rob Turner, 51 in 6 weeks. We're all slowly but surely getting a little bit older. I think Tim Imholtz was just a couple of weeks ago. TXG 55, there you go. And see, this is why, like, you guys, my demo is what it is. When I go on YouTube, those of you who've bothered telling Google all that personal information, it's just like, it's men between 49 and 55 years old. That's it. That is your demo. Nobody else, which I know isn't true. I know there are women who watch a show, but they perhaps wisely decided to not give their information to Moloch. Charles Latorra, been listening. That's awesome. 48 acid reflow. You young, you spring chicken, you whippersnapper. I remember 48. Oh my gosh, youth is wasted on the young. Yeah, exactly. Emmy, Kanek, gosh, Elizabeth, who else? I know occasionally Harmony Ginger dips in, but not as a regular. I don't even know if she's subscribed to the channel. She probably is. What else? Who else? Gosh, my wife's dear friend Annette. She watches sometimes. I know her sons do, but they're obviously not women. Oh, Charles Latorre, you whippersnapper. But, at any rate, sorry. Oh gosh, Robert Phillips, you are lagging behind. We are no longer talking about apples. Um, who else? I did I mention Alyssa Hazel? I know she'll watch the show and call us all goblins. So yeah, I know that there are women. Sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes Kat, the night editor, the wife of Jayashiro Finney, an author. I know sometimes he watches the show. And just the other night, the Vile Necromancer and his girlfriend tuned into the show. Ha! You mentioned Savo's name. Savo, it's good to see you. How are you? How have you been? Welcome back. I hope you're well. Nonsense north of the Rockies. I mean, your number. We're all good. We're all good. But anyway, no, that's fine. That's fine. Gosh, we were talking about ages, my demo. Yeah, it does. Every day on this side of the dirt is a good one. The 3D print starting soon. I promise it's not going to wait until 2026 this time. It's not going to wait until 2026. I'm going to try and start on some video production for it next week. This week will be a little chaotic. The day when I would usually take to do that tomorrow, I'm going to be running some errands. So you'll have to forgive me. Yeah, there you go. What is my favorite Star Frontiers race and why? When I was a kid, it was the Yserians, hand down. Gliding, high strength, fierce warriors. As a grown up, I tend to lean back into humans. Never cared for the Vrusk. Never cared for the Vrusk at all. Dralicites, they're interesting. They're interesting. But yeah, I would say in order it's humans, Yserians, Dralicites, and then if you said you got to play a Vrusk, dude, this is all I've got. Fine, give me the character sheet. I'll play a Vrusk. Look, they're just bug Vulcans, okay? That's it. That's all they are. They're bug Vulcans. If I see a Vrusk, I'm going for a broom. If I see a Dralicite, I'll get a bucket. But at least Yserians, I could be like, okay. Now, I do know that in a later supplement, they actually added an android race. Like, they're literally just a race of living machines. And I don't know if they were meant to be enemies like the Sethar or if they were supposed to be a playable race, which is interesting. DM Blackwall, good to see him. Let's see. Josh Butler asks, how would I recommend you go about reading through the 1E DMG? Cover to cover, or is there a priority of topics to cover? Cover to cover first. Cover to cover first. There is a madness to the method, so just take that in as you go. But the first time you read it, go cover to cover, and then just go nuts and go reread your favorite sections. You're going to want to bookmark stuff. And to be honest, unless you're talking about some antique, like a true first with the flipped upside down pages from the monster manual in, don't be afraid. Make notes. as you go. It's your copy. It's supposed to be used. But I hope that answers your question. The thing about the Dungeon Master's Guide, and you got to remember this, you got to keep this in mind. The thing about the DMG is it is a city. It is not a straight road. It is a city. You will meander up and down streets. You will find yourself in blind alleys. You will come to great sprawling parks, to interesting tottering piles of stone that make up a Gothic mansion, rolling green parks, dusty scriptoriums, interesting shops of curiosities, dangerous thieves' quarters. That is the Dungeon Master's Guide. And you should embrace that when you read it the second time. That's perfect. Best way to go. North of the Rockies' favorite part was the random dungeon generator. Nice stuff. Would I recommend reading the PHB before the DMG? You should definitely understand both. The PHB is a lot more linear. Intro to the stats, then to the races, then to the classes, then to what it costs to put your character out on their feet. And then it's just spell stuff after that. If you have a hankering for bards, or your DM is going to use psionics, or you as a DM are going to use psionics, read those appendices. But do not skip over the how to have successful adventures section if you're going to be a player. Because writ there is one of the most important things. Hello, 33K7. Writ there is one of the most important things you should check out, and it is avoid unnecessary encounters. You absolutely need to read the appendix on having successful AD&D adventures. But again, it is a linear progression anytime you read it. DM Blackwall asks me, hello, Retro Wizard. Good to see you. You are very welcome, Josh. How would I compare the Dungeon Master's Guide to the Rule Cyclopedia? It's night and day. The Dungeon Master's Guide stands head and shoulders over the Rule Cyclopedia in terms of presentation, in terms of art, in terms of verb, in terms of reusability and utility for other systems. The Rule Cyclopedia is fantasy stereo instructions. And that's just the truth. Good question. How do you determine an unsuccessful encounter? It's very simple, Vinny. Any encounter that results in undue casualties, walking wounded or otherwise, an expenditure of expenses, and an expense can be something as cheap as an arrow, that was entirely avoidable and costs the party dearly and keeps them away from their stated goal. Defend the kingdom from the kobolds. Rescue the maiden from the ogre's lair. Find out what the evil duke has going on. Revive the ancient wizard priest so that he may once again rule justly. Anything that sidetracks you from that, Consider, if you will, consider, if you will, um, in The Lord of the Rings, Sam and Frodo, when they cross over past the Tower of Cirith Ungol, down into the lands of Mordor, Sam, as they sit high up, looks and sees a village. Perhaps it's men, perhaps it's half-orcs, whatever. He sees a village of lean-tos, tents, that kind of thing, but a village nonetheless. He comments on it, he notes it, they go past it. Sam and Frodo wandering down into that village and poking around and meeting people and trying, when they didn't have to. They were on their mission. They had to go across the blighted land of Mordor. That would have been an unsuccessful adventure. I'm sorry, sorry. Retro Wizard asks, do empty segments in the middle of a combat round get dumped or played and counted for movement, speed factors, and spellcasting? If there's movement, if there's weapon speed factors to be considered, and especially if there's spellcasting, there are no empty segments in a spell. If the round winds up and everybody on side A and B have done what they wanted to do, then, there's 3 segments left. Party A is not doing anything. Their opponents in Party B aren't doing anything. We move on. I'm not going to sit there and say, 6 seconds passes, 6 more seconds pass, 6 more seconds pass, and on to the next. It's kind of like how, there's that incredible scene in the movie Heat. The shootout, the bank heist shootout. We do not see the 3 bank robbers on the elevator coming down, listening to the music. This is not important to the story. We need to keep the story moving. Did I ever get to play Middle Earth by Ice? Yes. I played Ice's I played Ice's MERP. It is Rollmaster Light, and as such, it is very clunky. It is very unwieldy. It is very slow. But, hear me out. That sounds like a negative. It is extremely thorough. And given some dice rolls, it really kind of lets you make the character you want to be in Middle Earth. And combat, I mean, it's really more a game of role-playing and exploration. So I tend to think it's not that bad of a system. Heat is phenomenal. It is really my favorite action movie as well. Well, no, it's not my favorite action movie. It is one of my favorite films, though. I would put it in my top 10 films. Drama Goblins, I recommend AD&D. I always recommend AD&D. AD&D is the wellspring from which you flow. Without advanced Dungeons and Dragons, you will have never been. I really prefer first edition AD&D. No. Sam Jackson was not in Heat Drama Goblins. I I he's been in a lot of crime drama movies. He was in the remake of Shaft, I think. I think. But he was not in Heat. I'll give it a listen. Amish Mike 1 says he needs me to talk about Twilight 2001 Night, World War III 1987. Well, technically World War III 1995. But yeah, we've been there before. We can go back and we can kind of do another dive into Twilight 2000 if you guys want. We absolutely can. What was my impression of Wizards of the Coast from 1997 to 2003? Oh, Mike. Hey, man. How are you? How are you? I I hope you're doing well. I really hope you're well. I have been going back lately and rereading it. Still good. Still fantastic. Let's see. What is my opinion of Wizards of the Coast from 1997 to 2003? Back in 1997, they were oh, I saw you over the okay, I'm sorry. I missed your comment in by the way, I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna paste this here. If you guys want something like in a Clancy-esque vein that absolutely rocks on toast, you guys gotta go check out Mike's World War III blog and just read it from the beginning. It is about a hypothetical World War III that kicks off in summer of 1987, and it is a damn fine read. It is a damn fine read. Anyway, Wizards of the Coast 1997 to 2003 were a happy-go-lucky company of weirdos in Seattle who were a bunch of Gen X hedonists who created a card game to help them pay for the board game that they all loved so it could get a second edition and an expansion. The card game was supposed to literally be disposable, and of course became one of the biggest money makers in the world. Jim Ward saw Magic the Gathering back then and pressed Lorraine Williams to buy Wizards of the Coast to get her hands on Magic the Gathering. She said, "We're not a card game company, and if we want to make one, we'll make one, and it'll be Dungeons and Dragons, and it'll bury them." They were absolutely positively 100% 180 degrees around from the awful management of TSR. When they bought TSR in 1998, they probably saved the D&D IP from being picked apart by smaller companies. D&D was so busted back then that Steve Jackson Games could have gone in and bought it. Imagine GURPS D&D. And when you're done sobbing uncontrollably, come back to me. You might not think much of Wizards of the Coast now. But imagine D&D just going into this decline where its IP is devalued and devalued and devalued and devalued, and it gets bought by fucking Tencent. Well, I dropped an F-bomb. Somebody's going to have to super me. Man, you guys are just full of questions. Well, I did say ask me questions. What I did to start the OSR, because I kickstarted the OSR, not kickstarted as in the financial company. It started with me. The OSR began with me. going out and saying, I'm going to make modules with TSR trade dress on them. I'm going to say Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. I'm going to put these out there on the web. TSR, the company, would have destroyed me from orbit. They would have hounded me to the ends of the earth. Wizards of the Coast didn't. Wizards of the Coast got bought in 2000 by Hasbro. 2000 to 2006, they were in the Wizards of the Coastness was slowly leaking out. But it was around 2008, 2009 that Wizards of the Coast is meaningless now. It's an impressum owned by Hasbro. That's it. That's all. So 2003, Wizards of the Coast, they were still all right. Let's see. Anyway, that is Amish Mike's 1987 World War III blogspot. You should read it. Let's see. Why D6 is featured much more prominently in the pre-AD&D decisions. Because you could get D6s anywhere. You could steal them from your parents' Yahtzee game. You could buy a pack of them at a general store, hobby stores. Back in the 1970s, a hobby store meant someplace you either bought trains, like RC cars, trains, and RC planes, or a store that sold like crafts, like yarn and stuff like that. But they might have a board game shelf. You could get D6s anywhere. That's primarily it. What are my thoughts on the use of AI in TTRPG games? There are less obvious and more impactful uses frequently found. I think if you're a DM and you need something, like you're just having writer's block, I don't think there's any shame in using it. I feed stuff out of the Dungeon Master's Guide to ChatGPT and say, compute this. Start running some random numbers and create some stuff for me for random encounters and so on. If I look up and it's 9:15 on a Monday night and I've just finished a whirlwind week and I'm like panting from the effort of what I've done, and I realize, crap, the party's journeying from Verbabank to Greyhawk. Hey, ChatGPT, copy, paste, do that. 5 encounters, you say? Detail them out for me. Cool, thanks. I think it's fine to use it like that. Get it to write your manuscript, generate your cover art? No. I remember AD&D being sold at Toys R Us too. KB Toys. Circus. Or Circus World, rather. Circus World, not Circus Circus. Circus is the casino. The really rundown, awful casino in Vegas. Circus World was the toy store that got bought by KB. You don't think I caught Goblin's actual question? Let me scroll up. Oh! Okay, I'm sorry. The heavier lean on D100s with AD&D 1 or 2. I'm sorry. My apologies. I think it's because D100s produce more granular outcomes. You can generate a score of 1 to 100 with a D4, but only in bounds of 25. 1 to 25, 26 to 50, 51 to 75, 76 to 100. What if I've got 100 monsters and I want to break them down? Well, there was a toy store called Circus World also. Um, I hope that answers your question. Drama Goblins. I apologize. It's just it produces more granular results on things when you want more granular results. No, no one should trust SJG. They would have absolutely bungled Dungeons and Dragons. And again, thank you, my no Creole creator, my knockroll, my knockroll. I can't tell. If you've got something and do you want your curve to be a little bit more gentle? It's D100s, D100s. But no, SJG. I think we would currently D&D, if they held on to it, would exist. It would literally be GURPS Dungeons and Dragons. It would be a bunch of fantasy shit for GURPS. So that's where I think we'd be. So any more questions? Any more questions at all? I promise I'll answer them properly this time. Lionel Play World, yep. Yeah. I mean, I think it speaks volumes that Steve Jackson threw a snit over something to do with GURPS and the first Fallout game. GURPS was supposed to be the backbone of Fallout. They wanted, the guys at Interplay wanted to use GURPS as the guts for the original Fallout games. And they were this close to pulling it off. And SJG demanded more money and pulled the plug, and that was it. And they had to scramble and create the special system. I've heard about that orbital air. I'm not going to touch that. Your uncle had 1E, you bought 2E as a card game. We played Spellfire. Oh, no, that's okay, 33K7. Let's see, but what was your question? Let me see. Thinking of buying the Wheel of Time role-playing game D20. Should I do it? I mean, if you're down with AD&D, or if you're down with D20 D&D fantasy, it's fine. The spell system's a little different, and the classes and races are different. But I mean, basically, it's D&D. My wife has both source books for it. They're pretty okay. We played a 9-month campaign of it. My wife was pregnant with our first daughter. So I hope that answers your question. I think it's a perfectly fine game. In the Lost Caverns of Sojkoth, where do you find a 17th level cleric cured the damage from the clay golem in Cave 3? That's... I don't know. I mean, your DM would probably have to say that look at the World of Greyhawk setting and decide who is a 17th level cleric out there that can do the job. I don't know. Not in the caves, that's for sure. Drelsna's not going to do it. It would literally almost be worth it to let that character die and have them raised from dead. It would be easier to do that. Yeah, it's a good game, 33K7. It's a good game. I'm serious. Like, if you get hit once, just stand there and let them wail on you, and then hope your party can rescue your body and have you raised from dead. That would be easier. It's like, okay, I'm going to beat your computer with a hammer. Wait, hear me out. But anyway, I just want to, because I messed up a question and I missed questions. Again, my apologies, Drama Goblins. But anyway, I think that's just about got it. I'm probably gonna buy index card art. No, AD&D, and don't ask for any dwarf magic users either. You know who you are. Anyway, yes, Death Angel. Never forget what they took from us. Why oh why does AD&D list dice rolls as 2 to 7 or 3 to 30 or 3 to 18 rather than tell the player what dice to roll? When did the modern parlance take hold? Late original D&D. Probably around 75, 76, they started talking about, 4 to 16. There may even be some occurrences in in OD&D itself. But I think maybe Gary just expected us all to be pretty smart, The goblin does 13 to 22 points of damage. Oh, come on, Gary. Okay, 13 to 22. 13 to 22. That's, what is that? 8 plus 1 to 5? No. That's 1d6 plus 2d8. And you're just stuck there. Do I think the art portraying Drelsna looks like Elsie Gygax? No, I don't. I'll have to go back and look now. What looks like our Talsorian system? Our Talsorian did some interesting crossovers. There was actually a hero system our Talsorian crossover, which was weird. Very weird. All right. So I think with that, I'm probably going to step off tonight, guys. Listen, thank you everyone for tuning in. Sorry about the bungle on the question there. Again, my apologies to you, to you fine folks. See, that's why I gotta have, I gotta have you guys rereading things. But anyway, I do appreciate the question, everyone. Questions, everyone. Have a lovely evening. Thank you to you all. Good to see you, Mike. Thanks for stopping in. Guys, definitely check out his channel. I linked to it. You can scroll back and check that out. And it's also in the comments. You can scroll up and check that out. I will be back tomorrow. We will be playing first edition AD&D. Do not miss out on that. And until then, everybody, whether it's light outside or dark outside, let me tell you what, be careful, because there could be those dreaded owl bears out there. Peace. Good night. I'll see you all tomorrow night.
Have you seen my owl bear? Here's to all the weirdos everywhere, in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owl bear? Should I shave off all my hair? Bobs are all around, some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle, way off course? Naked as a toad, all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take me